I've been inspired by Phil Lilienthal, who started Global Camps Africa. So Phil was a camp director in New Hampshire and Vermont, and then decided after 30 years retiring that he wanted to take the best of camp, experience of summer camp, all the joy, all the growth, all the community, self-esteem building, and take it to South Africa to help kids, teens and youth who have lost one or both parents to AIDS or HIV and have been affected by HIV. And then locally, I have been really inspired and honored by Brandon Johns, who runs M.A.N.U.P. So he runs M.A.N.U.P, Making a New United People, which is a local Takoma Park teen mentoring group, and he's the head of the Takoma Youth Collaborative. And the Takoma Youth Collaborative is trying to help teens successfully get to adulthood with financial literacy, access to college, job readiness, jobs, everything. But what I felt was missing in the Youth Collaborative was attending to the heart and soul of kids. So I wanted to bring that to Takoma Park, to the projects of M.A.N.U.P and the Youth Collaborative, and Global Camps Africa does it beautifully at Camp Sizanani, South Africa.
Global Camps Africa is a nonprofit that runs camp programs for children who are affected by HIV and AIDS in South Africa primarily, but all over the continent with partners. And we run our own programs at least 3 times a year just outside of Johannesburg for 140 campers. And they're new campers every time. You're only allowed to come once. And then you go on to our follow-up program, which is called Youth Clubs. And they take place in the Soweto community, which is where most of our campers come from, every other week, so that we stay with our campers and we're able to reinforce the lessons that they learned at camp. Yeah!
This is the first time we're doing Camp Sizanani in the U.S. We always operate in South Africa in the past, so it's really exciting to see what they will take away from this. In South Africa, the kids come home, we get feedback from parents saying, wow, like my kid is so much more engaged at home, thank you, and there's a lot more self-confidence, and you can also see it just in their body language, you know, when they come to camp looking kind of like confused and scared, and then by the time they leave, they're singing and happy and full of energy and joy. So that's really kind of the change that we see happen. And we hope that they'll stay involved with M.A.N.U.P after this program and stay involved in their community. We were excited to be able to have South African counselors coming and working with American kids. At first, I think they were a little nervous about what was going to happen, and once we started working with them and the counselors started working with them, they really opened up, and it's been really neat to learn about the kids throughout the week. They're all beautiful and have wonderful things to add to the conversation, so it's been really nice to get to know them in that way.
Vochellis, it simply means a counselor or a facilitator. So it's a name which Camp Sizanani came with to describe a counselor.
We serve 150 kids 4 times a year, 3-4 times a year, who come from dire circumstances. They're fighting HIV, they're seeing families die from HIV. They fight in poverty.
Back home, Camp Sizanani is an HIV life skills-based camp where we are teaching kids skills on social competence, how to live, whether they are infected or affected by HIV, and how to just curb the spread of HIV. The biggest thing about Camp Sizanani back home, we're a lot about singing, just to bring that spirit of camp and the tradition of camp. And a lot of the kids here didn't know the songs that we introduced to them. And the first few days it was, we don't want to sing. But now they know the tradition and they look forward to it. They know right before lunch we're going to sing. And it's been not only my role to get them singing, but everyone else's.
Sizanani goes on, Sizanani goes, let's sing everybody, yeah.
Got it.
Hi Nima. Hi Gina. How's it going? Okay. What's that bucket? It's the compost bucket from the city. Oh, so is the city picking up compost now? Yeah, they are. Ah, that's so cool. How do I get a bucket? You just go online and sign up. So do the buckets attract mice and bugs? The good thing is that it doesn't. This green lid that we have out here is an airtight lid, and it prevents any mice or anything from getting in. Oh, that's great. So bugs and mice can't get in there. What about that liner? Is that compostable too? It's a compostable liner, and I got it from the city when I signed up. Hey, since I don't have a bucket, can I put some of my food scraps in your bucket this week? Sure, come on, bring it in. You have to help me with what goes in there. Okay. Well, I think I have eggshells. Yes, it does. Okay. I have a bunch of coffee grounds from this morning. Can those go in there? You can definitely put coffee grounds, even tea bags. They take napkins, even pizza boxes, and meat, any sort of meat. And any kind of meat? Yeah. What about bones? Yeah, bones and even seafood. I think I have some in here from my roommate. Okay. Let me look for it. Skippy! You can't get a head start on the compost. Skippy, you better behave. We'll compost you.
Animals, like people, get frightened when a disaster strikes. They might run away in panic. Pets should wear an identification tag.
Thanks!
Ma'am, is this your dog?
Yes,
I need to see some proof of identification.
the ID is in the house.
Okay.
And I've got this picture on the camera.
Well, we do need to go up and look at the ID in the house.
Okay, come on, Megs.
Owners should have papers and photos as proof of purchase. As a pet owner, are you ready? A message from the Takoma Park Emergency Preparedness Committee.
You can be the best you without having anyone judge you. You understand what I'm saying? It was kind of like when I first got to the camp, and I'm just be really honest, like it almost felt like a kiddie camp in a way, like we're singing songs every 2 minutes and stuff like that. And after the first 3 days, I realized like that is the positive energy that people need. You know what I'm saying? Like the way to just kind of shake things off and go about your day. Don't really worry about anybody else. You know what I mean?
Ball in. No.
Whoa.
My role at camp is being a sports person, like doing sports. And what I did with the kids firstly was doing teamwork and see how well they work together, team building activities. And then we got more involved playing soccer.
I worked with Jen Wofford in collaborating to make this possible on the logistics side. So all of the behind the scenes stuff that needs to happen in order for the camp to take place here, that's what I do. And when I visit South Africa, I am sometimes a counselor and offer support to the office staff over there and facilitate partnerships in South Africa as well. So.
The city was terrific. The city council was amazing in backing it. I proposed this idea. It was a little different. It was a little innovative. It was unheard of. It caused a lot of wow, how are we going to do that? But they went along with it. I worked with the city of Takoma Park, the rec department, and was so grateful to Greg, the head of the rec department, and Debbie, and John, and Licia, and Michael, and Hazel was enormously helpful. She really worked with me constantly on all the work that had to happen. I personally reached out to about 200 kids and families, phone calling individually, emailing individually, and then 30 different community organizations who would be interested. Really good community groups like M.A.N.U.P, like Impact, Silver Spring, lots of groups saying, we've got this project, are there kids you can think of, and can we work with you? And then raising the money, because this was not funded by anyone except by friends of mine and my family. So raising the money for it, donations from people, all of it. But then to see the kids arrive was spectacular.
What I really appreciate about Jen bringing this project to us to partner with and bringing it to Takoma Park is that this program is focusing on the youth. I think we thought it was really beneficial to try something new and really try it from an outer's perspective for the kids, and I think it's really had a good impact on them thus far.
M.A.N.U.P as a mentor, the biggest aspect of it for me is really just having the youth understand what it is coming up. Because I try to go off of my own experience. Like, with me being a young man who is still within the youth, but I'm a little older, I can touch base more with the youth. So I try to just give them just a good understanding of how to be able to operate within society, because they're on their way out of high school with most of the kids that we're dealing with. So it's just to be able to how to operate, within society, and just being able to, make your way. You know what I'm saying?
You learn to exercise every day. You learn to stay hydrated, even though the sun is too shining on you, and to be involved in activities, such as like playing together outdoors. It keeps you more involved, like knowing people and how to engage with people, and it teaches you a lot because you feel much more open when you are out there,
It goes beyond the swimming, it goes beyond the playing sports, it goes beyond just doing the yoga. But what is it that they are getting from the activity that they can use outside of camp or outside that sport? We've had life skills as an activity. We've had sports, yoga, and theater. In theater, they have dance and they're working on a play. We also covered relationships, not only relationships with each other, but with their parents. What it is that forms good relationships. What are some of the conflicts in relationships and possible solutions? These are things that they're coming up with themselves, with us facilitating these activities.
I'm 14, so people my age, they might feel uncomfortable talking to things about to their friends or things to their parents or their teachers. So
yesterday they had a game where they were playing Navigator and one had to be blindfolded. The rest of the team couldn't speak but give directions to the one who could see and speak. And that was the person who had to give directions without seeing the member that was blindfolded.
Our biggest lesson today was to open yourself up to saying yes and instead of contradicting what your scene partner might say. So learning what it feels like to have someone oppose you and learning what it feels like to have someone support you. And we're trying to help the kids to learn those skills in their daily life as well.
We're doing theater in a more different kind of way, different from the way it's done on other places. So theater is more like when you get the kids to teach them about the art, the performing arts, which is kind of like drama, dance, singing, and so forth. A skill like teamwork. So we have figured out that kids, they learn more when they enjoy or having fun than be sitting on a classroom being lectured an hour or two. Okay, so we establish a way called intentional programming. So I'm doing theater. In theater, I give them a task like get them together or divide them into certain groups and let them have plan something on their own. And that task, they be able to kind of have different ideas compiled together, and it helps them to work as a team and again being able to deal or to solve certain small problems.
This camp in particular is really dealing with a lot of empowerment issues and leadership. So what I'm hoping is when they come out of this, they really have those skills and tools to be able to empower themselves and feel empowered, but also have the tools to be leaders in their communities.
At other camps, if you go to camp at the Y or something, it's a lot. it's a lot more kids and there's a lot more counselors and everyone's like individually doing their own thing. But here, like everything is together. We have to do everything together.
My favorite part about Sizanani had to be pretty much the enthusiasm and then the spiritual aspect of it. You know, we start off with life skills, then we do the sports, which is like the average thing for camps, right? And then after that, we go to theater, which is for me was kind of different. I've never done anything with theater, so that was a new experience. And then transitioning from theater into yoga, that's very different for me. This is my first time ever doing yoga, and it's at an African global camp. So I'm looking at it as they're able to implement all different aspects of life within this one camp.
Life skills, because we talk about like important things that you might not be able to talk about with your parents, or you know, it's just like a really safe environment to talk about things.
Some of my favorite parts would have to be drama, and acting, because I really like acting, and my second part was yoga because I've never really tried yoga, and I learned something new. And I also met like a lot of people that I think I'm going to keep in contact with, and I met people from across the world, and to see that they're the same almost, it's pretty cool.
They're starting to realize that in each of the activities, it's more than just playing the game. It's more than just talking because for the sake of talking. They're now beginning to match up what aspect we're trying to get to in that activity. So before they even do the game or before they come together to strategize, they'll say, this is probably what they want us to do. So we already know we're probably going to learn about communication. So this is something to look out for. How can we improve that? Which is great because we're getting there and it's only been 4 days together.
Introducing a breakthrough in time management technology. A whole new day of the week. It's called Someday. Ingenious. Perhaps someday you are going to go skydiving. Enter a hot dog eating contest. Maybe ride a mechanical bull. Now it's on the calendar. You may want to retire someday. Ready for that? You'll really want this. A My Social Security account at socialsecurity.gov. You can estimate your future benefits, plan for your retirement, and how to save for it. If you already receive benefits, you can manage them online. Millions of people already have a My Social Security account. In fact, someone opens one about every 6 seconds. Get yours today, because someday is here at socialsecurity.gov.
Still, Jen, it's your mom. And where are you? The power's off. I need you.
It is important to connect with neighbors, particularly for seniors who live alone.
Mrs. Sanders, how are you?
It's dark in here.
We brought some food for you.
Oh, that's so nice.
Kurt and I were worried about you.
Befriend your neighbor before an emergency occurs. A message from the Takoma Park Emergency Preparedness Committee.
So we had a celebration last night for all of the kids and their parents, and we invited members of the community as well. And it was an opportunity for us to thank the parents and thank all of those people who made contributions to the program and made it possible because it was free of charge for the kids to attend. So that was really special and wouldn't have been possible without all of the contributions of the people who attended last night. And the kids got to present the play that they put together, which is really a poem piece and a dance at the end. So it was really neat to get to watch them perform and come out of their shell in front of their parents, and I think their parents really enjoyed it too. So
we decided to like recite poetry instead. About like, it was like pretty somber at first, but you know, at the end, like the message was hope, and we had a dance after that. So yeah.
Now I have a different view of life. Smile. It could always be worse.
With yoga especially, we've been doing a lot on affirmations and validating themselves. A lot of the times young people expect validation from other people, and with yoga we're trying to teach them that it's all from inside. Just like with a spider, it has everything it needs inside it to survive. It's the same with human beings. Every single thing you could possibly need to make it through a day. Something as simple as that. It's inside you. They shouldn't wait to be told that they're great people, but they should believe it, and that's what will come forth.
I wanted to be sure that the South African counselors were paid the same wage as the M.A.N.U.P staff. So they all got $500 this week, which may not sound like a lot, but is a huge amount to most 22-year-olds and 24-year-olds for a week, but is really huge if you're from South Africa and your wage is typically $125 a week. So I felt really good about the decisions we made about how we spent the money, but we were operating with a teeny tiny little budget, and so we need more help. And we need people to do work. You know, there's just tons of phone calls, tons of outreach, tons of logistics. To get the food donated tonight took, dozens of phone calls, dozens of emails with all the local restaurants, pleading, following up, asking again, coordinating logistics. It's a lot of work.
I am so grateful that I got to meet these kids. They are some of the most wonderful American kids, if I could say that. I haven't worked with a lot of American kids, but the ones that I have worked with, they're really polite, which says a lot about their upbringing. And it's been such a pleasure working with them and just seeing them day by day open up to the difference that we're bringing, because what we are bringing here, they're not used to, they don't know.
Oftentimes we go the wrong way to try to focus on prevention methods for youth, but I really think this bringing programs that actually build youth and build the capacity for youth to grow is what these communities really need and what our communities really need. So, I just want to keep with the same, keep in the same breath and keep continuing to make programs like this available for the kids at Takoma Park. I hope they have a more global perspective, to be quite honest. I hope working with these counselors can let them see that people in all areas, people in all countries, continents, really have a lot of the same issues and are all working towards the same similar goal.
I learned a lot. I learned a lot of leadership skills on going against the grain and not always, being a leader is not always the most popular decision, and like to stand up for yourself, and if you don't want to do something, you don't have to do it. And to like not always make everybody else happy, but make yourself happy too.
Self-acceptance, and that just came from being able to do things without people judging you, and really being able to persevere through certain things. With this being a leadership camp, we were able to have different activities where you would be put in a situation where you would actually reply in, and not necessarily a negative, but to disagree, and have it in a way where somebody can understand why.
The importance of being listened to and the importance of being loved. And by somebody saying that I care to them, it's a big thing. And somebody who can sit down with them and listen to them while they say something it's a big thing to them because most of them have never been heard or never been given that attention. We don't solve problems for them, but we help them to be able to solve their problems. We give them guidance. We don't sympathize, we empathize with them.
Anyone who feels moved by this mission, who feels like this was a really impactful week and wants to do more for children, not only here at Takoma Park, but also for children in South Africa and beyond, they can go to our website and visit us at globalcampsafrica.org, and you can make a donation of any amount, and it goes a long way. It only costs $500 to send a child to camp and a whole year of our follow-up youth clubs program. So we feel like it's a good value for the impact that you make.
And it was really a beautiful week. The kids laughed a lot. They connected with each other a lot. They grew a lot. I saw them really growing. Some of the kids were a little more reserved and holding back, and by the end of the week were really connected and open.
How could anyone ever tell you you are anything less than beautiful? How could anyone ever tell you you are less than whole? How could anyone fail to notice that your loving is a miracle? How deeply you're connected to my soul.